We've talked about a lot of hymn writers on our show, and they are an interesting and eclectic collection of people. What did you discover about hymn writers as a group as you wrote your books on hymns, and were there any surprises for you during your research?
I discovered that virtually none of the authors were professional literary people. They were ordinary Christians.
Wow.
I found no evidence that they pored over their manuscripts and painstakingly revised them the way literary authors do. Instead, inspiration fell like a benediction on the process of composition. A large number of the authors were ministers. A large number were ministers. Another group that fills a much larger proportion of hymn writers when compared to literary authors is women. Hymn writers were a prolific lot. Most of them wrote hundreds and even thousands of hymns.
Wow.
Many of the great hymns came out of experiences or lives of great suffering. Mm-hmm. As for surprises, everything that I just said now about hymn writers as a group was a surprise for me. Additionally, my discipline of literary studies pays lip service to hymns as poems, but we do not teach hymns in the classroom. I was surprised to see how well the great hymns hold up as poetry. I was surprised to find out how many of our most famous hymns are occasional poems. Now, what a literary scholar means by that is that a poem arose from a specific occasion, either in the author's life or in the life of the times. Finally, many of the hymns express such lofty and seemingly impossible ideals of spiritual attainment that we find it hard to take the sentiment seriously. What are we going to do with Like a River Glorious, for example, or It Is Well With My Soul? Well, the first thing I do is make sure I've really looked closely at what's actually being stated. Then I look at the author's life or maybe the occasion of a hymn, and it turns out that these authors had no intention of being glib. What they wrote came out of great deprivation often and suffering. Yeah. So I have learned not to be quick to pass off these exaggerated sentiments, seemingly exaggerated sentiments. Instead of being cynical, we need to aspire toward the ideal that the hymns set before us. So I learned a lot and value what I learned. I enjoyed the surprises that were sprung on me. And I'm going to keep plugging away at finding new hymns to explicate.
We absolutely love that guest. To hear more from them, click here. Also, make sure you subscribe to our channel, like and share this video with a friend. And to help us keep the lights on, consider supporting us financially by heading over to hymnpartial.com.